Have you ever felt confined within the safety of your own little pond, wondering what might lie beyond if only you dared to take a leap? Imagine a tiny fish swimming day after day in the familiar, comfortable waters of its small pond, never questioning the boundaries that have always defined its world. Now, ask yourself, what if that fish, driven by a spark of curiosity and courage, decided to venture out into the vast unknown? What if it embraced the risk of leaving its secure home to explore a world full of endless possibilities? In our modern lives, many of us are like that fish, hesitant to step beyond our comfort zones due to a deep-seated fear of failure. We cling to the familiar, even when we know that true growth and transformation lie in taking risks. The Buddha taught us that clinging to safety limits our potential, while embracing impermanence and uncertainty can lead to enlightenment. Just as the fish must risk the unknown to find a richer, fuller life, we too must accept that risk is an essential ingredient in the journey toward maturity and self-discovery. Today, I invite you to consider this truth. Accepting risks is the only way to truly grow. By daring to leave our small ponds, our routines, our fears, our habitual ways of being, we open ourselves to a world of beauty, learning, and new beginnings. This isn't about reckless abandon. It is about mindful courage, the kind that comes from understanding that every moment is transient. Every failure is a stepping stone, and every risk carries the seed of potential. In this talk, we will explore the inspiring story of the fish that dared to leave its small pond, a tale that reminds us that growth requires us to step into the unknown. We will discuss how letting go of our fears, much like the Buddha's teachings on non-attachment and impermanence, can liberate us from the confines of our self-imposed limitations. So, let your heart be open to the possibility that, by embracing risk, you may discover a depth of life and creativity that you never knew existed. Let us now journey together toward a life of bold exploration and mindful freedom. Imagine a small, serene pond nestled in a quiet corner of nature, a place where the water is clear and the edges are lined with soft, green reeds. In this peaceful, familiar haven, life follows a gentle, predictable rhythm. Every creature knows its place. Every ripple has its cause. And every day unfolds in a soothing, unchanging pattern. Yet within this comfortable enclosure, one fish, unlike the others, harbored a quiet restlessness, a longing to explore beyond the confines of its small pond. This fish had spent its entire life in the safety of these waters, where food was abundant, predators were few, and every surface of the pond echoed with memories of its birth. But as days turned into months and months into years, the fish began to notice something it could no longer ignore. The water, though familiar, was limited. The sky, though wide, seemed to whisper of adventures that lay just beyond the ripples. There was an unspoken invitation in the gentle lapping of the pond's edge, a call to discover the vast, unknown world beyond. For a long time, the fish hesitated. Fear of the unknown gripped its heart. After all, leaving the safety of the pond meant venturing into a realm where dangers lurked in every shadow, and the rules of life were unpredictable. It remembered the comfort of the familiar, the way the water cradled it, the way the soft sunlight filtered through the canopy above. Yet, a spark of curiosity burned within, fueled by an inner voice echoing the wisdom of the Buddha, that clinging to safety only limits our growth, and that true freedom lies in embracing impermanence. One bright morning, as the first rays of sun pierced the horizon and turned the pond's surface into a shimmering mirror, something changed inside the fish. Perhaps it was the sight of a distant stream winding its way toward a larger body of water. Or maybe it was a sudden gust of wind that stirred the surface in a way it had never seen before. Whatever the cause, the fish felt an overwhelming urge to break free from the familiar. With a determined flick of its tail, it swam steadily toward the edge of the pond. The leap was both terrifying and exhilarating. As the fish broke through the water's surface, it experienced a moment of pure, unfiltered freedom. For the first time, it felt the vast expanse of the open world, the cool kiss of air replacing the warm embrace of its old home. In that instant, the fish discovered that risk and beauty are two sides of the same coin. Each mistake, each uncertainty, holds the potential for profound transformation. Once outside its small pond, the fish encountered challenges that tested every fiber of its being. The currents were stronger, the water murkier, and the predators more cunning. At times, it struggled against overwhelming forces. Moments when the new world seemed too vast, too wild. But each challenge also revealed wonders. Vibrant schools of fish that danced in the light, underwater forests of swaying plants, and hidden alcoves where the water glowed with mysterious, bioluminescent beauty. Every setback was a lesson in survival. Every narrow escape a boost to its growing resilience. As the days turned into weeks, the fish gradually adapted to its new environment. It began to navigate the unpredictable currents with confidence, learning to read the subtle cues of the water and to trust its instincts. With each risk it took, each venture into unfamiliar depths, it grew wiser and more self-assured. The fears that had once paralyzed it began to fade, replaced by a sense of possibility and wonder. In its journey, the fish discovered that every experience, whether marked by success or failure, was a stepping stone toward greater freedom and self-knowledge. This transformation is at the very heart of Buddhist teachings on impermanence and non-attachment. The fish learned that clinging to the safety of the old pond would only keep it confined, while letting go of that familiar comfort opened up a world rich with potential. The leap of faith it took embodies the idea that risk is not an enemy to be feared, but a vital part of growth, a process of continuous learning, adaptation, and renewal. In the end, the fish not only survived but flourished, carving out a new identity in the vast, ever-changing waters. Its journey serves as a powerful reminder: to truly grow, one must dare to leave behind the known, to challenge the boundaries of comfort, and to embrace the unknown with open arms. This story of a fish that dared to leave its small pond is a call to all of us to risk, to learn, and ultimately, to transform. Let us now delve deeper into the profound lessons hidden within the journey of our courageous fish. This story, while simple on the surface, holds a wealth of insight about the nature of risk, growth, and the transformative power of stepping out of our comfort zones, a message that echoes the wisdom of the Buddha. At its core, the fear of risk is rooted in our instinct to seek safety. We cling to familiar environments because they offer predictability and control. In our modern society, this translates into a relentless pursuit of comfort and stability. Yet, as the fish's story illustrates, true growth can only occur when we dare to leave behind what is safe. The small pond, with its calm, predictable waters, represents not only a physical boundary but also a mental and emotional one. It is the place where we remain confined by our fears, afraid of failure, of rejection, of the unknown. Psychologically, our aversion to risk often manifests as anxiety and a paralyzing reluctance to change. Studies in behavioral psychology reveal that when we fear failure, we tend to overthink, procrastinate, or avoid challenging opportunities altogether. This self-imposed stagnation limits creativity and prevents us from tapping into our full potential. By contrast, the fish's daring leap from the pond symbolizes a break from this pattern, a moment when risk becomes a catalyst for learning and growth rather than a source of dread. From a Buddhist perspective, this transformation is deeply intertwined with the concepts of impermanence, anicca, and non-attachment, anatta. The Buddha taught that everything in life is transient. Nothing remains static, and clinging to the past or to familiar comfort inevitably leads to suffering. When the fish finally decides to venture into the vast, unpredictable waters, it embraces the truth that no condition is permanent. In doing so, it relinquishes the need to cling to safety and instead opens itself up to the fluid, ever-changing nature of existence. This acceptance of impermanence is not a resignation to fate, but a courageous acknowledgement that true freedom lies in the ability to adapt and grow. Moreover, the idea of non-attachment plays a critical role here. We often conflate our identity with our successes and failures, believing that if we fail, we are inherently deficient. However, Buddhist teachings remind us that our true self is not defined by external outcomes. The fish's journey exemplifies this shift in perspective. Leaving its small pond is not about rejecting its past, but about recognizing that its worth does not hinge on staying within a confined space. By daring to risk failure, It redefines itself, not as a creature doomed to stagnation, but as one capable of evolving and flourishing amidst uncertainty. Accepting risk also paves the way for resilience and innovation. When the fish encountered the challenges of the open waters, the unpredictable currents, the unfamiliar predators, the murky depths, it did not retreat in defeat. Instead, each obstacle became a lesson. The very struggles that threatened its survival also sharpened its instincts and broadened its understanding of the world. In the process, what once seemed like failure transformed into a series of invaluable learning experiences, each one building upon the last to forge a new, stronger identity. This is a lesson that resonates across all walks of life, whether in personal endeavors, artistic pursuits, or professional challenges. Every risk taken, even if it results in a setback, contributes to our overall growth and self-awareness. It is important to debunk a couple of common misconceptions here. First, many believe that having no fear of failure implies recklessness. In truth, the absence of paralyzing fear does not mean a lack of caution. Rather, it signifies a state of mindful preparedness. When we are not overly burdened by the fear of failure, we can approach challenges with a clear, focused mind, evaluating risks and making informed decisions. Second, some assume that repeated failures mark one as incompetent. History, however, teaches us that the most innovative and successful individuals are often those who have experienced many failures and have learned from each one. Their journey is a testament to the fact that every misstep is simply a stepping stone towards mastery. The story of our daring fish, then, is not just an isolated anecdote. It serves as a metaphor for the broader human experience. We are all, in our own ways, confined to small ponds, habits, routines, and mental constructs that keep us from exploring our true potential. But just as the fish discovered, by accepting risks and venturing into the unknown, we invite a wealth of new experiences, insights, and ultimately, transformation. In essence, accepting risk is an act of courage, an embrace of uncertainty that allows us to redefine ourselves and our place in the world. It is about letting go of the notion that safety is synonymous with success, and instead recognizing that growth often comes wrapped in the unpredictable, messy fabric of failure. As we reflect on this analysis, consider your own life. What small risk can you take today that might open up a world of possibility tomorrow? Remember, it is not the absence of fear that marks success, it is the willingness to move forward in spite of it. Embrace risk as an integral part of your journey, and you will find that every leap of faith brings you closer to the freedom and fulfillment you seek. Have you ever felt confined within the safe, familiar waters of your own little pond, wondering what wonders might lie beyond if only you dared to take a leap? Imagine a tiny fish living its entire life in a small, tranquil pond where every ripple is predictable and every day follows the same gentle pattern. Yet within this calm, secure world, a spark of curiosity begins to stir, a whisper of possibility that there's more to life than the boundaries it has always known. In our modern lives, many of us remain like that fish, reluctant to leave our comfort zones because we fear the unknown, the risk of failure, and the uncertainty of what awaits us outside our safe havens. The Buddha reminds us that clinging to the familiar only limits our growth, and that true liberation comes from embracing impermanence and stepping into the unknown. Today, I invite you to consider, what if accepting risk is the only way to truly mature and discover our fullest potential? Now, picture this: in a quiet, shimmering pond, our little fish peers at the distant water, where the surface sparkles with the promise of adventure. For years, the fish had lived comfortably, nourished by the routine and safety of its surroundings. But as it watched the shimmering reflection of the sky above, it felt a growing restlessness, an inner call to explore the vast, unpredictable world beyond the familiar edges of the pond. One clear morning, as the first rays of sun broke over the horizon, the fish made a bold decision. With a determined flick of its tail, it swam rapidly toward the murky boundary where the pond met the open expanse. The leap was both terrifying and exhilarating. In that moment of daring flight, the fish experienced a profound sense of freedom, as if it had finally shed the weight of its own limitations. Outside the safety of its small pond, the water was deeper and the current stronger. Dangers lurked in every shadow. Yet the fish found that each challenge revealed new opportunities to learn, adapt, and grow. As the fish ventured further, it encountered strange new sights, a cascade of colors in the water, mysterious underwater plants, and even other creatures with stories of their own. Every ripple and current taught it something new. That risk, though daunting, is the doorway to discovery. The fish gradually learned that what it once viewed as a potential for failure was, in fact, the foundation of its transformation. It began to understand that stepping into the unknown was not about recklessness but about mindful exploration, a journey that would ultimately lead to maturity and a richer, more vibrant existence. This simple yet powerful story of the fish is a call to all of us. Dare to leave your small pond, embrace risk, and unlock the hidden potential that lies in the vast, unpredictable waters of life. Now that we've explored the powerful lessons embedded in the fish's daring journey and the transformative benefits of embracing risk, it's time to translate these insights into practical, everyday actions. Embracing risk isn't about reckless abandon, it's about cultivating the courage to step outside your comfort zone. Learn from every stumble, and ultimately, grow into the person you were meant to become. Here are some actionable practices to help you start accepting risks and harnessing their potential for growth. 1. Keep a risk-taking journal. Begin by dedicating a journal solely to your risk-taking experiences. At the start of each week, Write down one small risk you're willing to take, whether it's speaking up in a meeting, trying a new hobby, or even striking up a conversation with someone new. Commit to these actions with the understanding that failure is not the end, but rather a valuable opportunity to learn. After each attempt, record the outcome, your feelings, and the lessons learned. Over time, this journal will serve as a powerful reminder that every setback has contributed to your growth and resilience, transforming what once seemed like a misstep into a stepping stone towards success. 2. Reframe your mindset before embarking on any new endeavor. Take a moment to reframe your perspective. Ask yourself, what can I learn if things don't go as planned? This simple question shifts your focus from the fear of failure to the potential for growth. Remind yourself that every experience, whether it meets your expectations or not, is a lesson in resilience and self-improvement. Use affirmations like, every risk I take is a chance to grow, or mistakes are the seeds of wisdom, to instill a mindset that values learning over perfection. With each risk you embrace, you gradually build a reservoir of courage and self-trust that empowers you to tackle bigger challenges in the future. 3. Practice mindful risk-taking. Mindfulness is a key ingredient in managing the anxiety that often accompanies risk-taking. Set aside a few minutes each day to engage in mindful meditation. Focus on your breath, and as you inhale, visualize yourself gathering the strength to face uncertainty. As you exhale, imagine releasing the need for everything to go perfectly. This practice doesn't just calm your mind, it also creates a mental space where risk is seen as a natural part of life rather than a looming threat. By regularly grounding yourself in the present moment, you learn to appreciate the process rather than obsessing over the outcome. 4. Embrace mini risks daily. Integrate small, intentional risks into your daily routine. Choose one low-stakes action each day that challenges you just a little bit. For instance, trying a new recipe, sharing an idea during a group discussion, or exploring a part of town you've never visited. These mini risks, while seemingly insignificant on their own, gradually desensitize you to the fear of failure. As you build this habit, you'll notice a shift in your confidence and creativity, proving that even the smallest leap of faith can have a ripple effect on your overall growth. 5. Build a supportive community. There's tremendous strength in sharing your journey with others. Seek out friends, colleagues, or online communities that value growth and risk-taking. Consider organizing a weekly or monthly meetup, perhaps a casual discussion or a group activity where everyone shares a risk they took and the lessons learned from it. By surrounding yourself with like-minded individuals, you not only gain fresh perspectives and encouragement, but you also normalize the idea that failure is a natural, valuable part of the journey. Together, you create a network of support that reinforces the belief that every risk is a step towards becoming your best self. By incorporating these practices into your daily life, you begin to dismantle the walls built by the fear of failure. Each journal entry, each mindful breath, and every small risk taken contributes to a cumulative transformation, one that empowers you to live boldly, creatively, and authentically. Remember, embracing risk is not about seeking perfection. It's about cultivating resilience, learning from every experience, and ultimately realizing that true growth happens when you dare to step into the unknown. So, take that first small step today. Embrace the risk, and let it guide you toward a life of continuous learning and boundless possibility. As we come to the close of our journey today, I invite you to reflect on the powerful lesson we've uncovered. Accepting risks is the only way to grow, and every bold step away from the safety of your small pond brings you closer to your true potential. Think of the fish that dared to leave its familiar waters, or the artisan who transformed each mistake into a masterpiece. Their journeys remind us that real transformation comes not from playing it safe, but from embracing the uncertainty of life with courage and mindfulness. In the teachings of the Buddha, we learn that impermanence is the nature of all things. Nothing stays the same, and clinging to what is familiar only hinders our evolution. By releasing our grip on fear, we invite growth, creativity, and a deeper connection to the present moment. Each risk, no matter how small, is a stepping stone on the path to self-discovery and fulfillment. Today, I challenge you to take that leap. Step out of your comfort zone, even if just for a moment, and allow yourself to experience life in its full, vibrant beauty. Whether it's trying a new approach at work, starting a creative project, or simply engaging more deeply with those around you, know that every act of bravery builds the foundation for a richer, more meaningful life. If you found these insights inspiring, please show your support by liking this video and subscribing to our channel. Your encouragement helps us continue to share stories and wisdom that empower you to live boldly. I also invite you to comment below and share your own experiences. What small risk have you taken that changed your life? Your stories not only inspire others but also create a community of like-minded souls ready to embrace life's uncertainties together. Thank you for joining me on this exploration of risk and growth. Remember, the freedom to grow, create, and truly live lies just beyond the horizon of your fears. Embrace every misstep as a lesson, every risk as an opportunity, and step confidently into the unknown. I am grateful for your time and attention. May you always have the courage to leap, the wisdom to learn, and the peace that comes from trusting your journey. Until our next conversation, keep daring, keep growing, and keep living with an open heart.